a lot of us have a lot more to do. I'm here to talk about Medicaid today, which is a pretty big topic. And a friend was asking me a couple days ago, what's going to be the gist of your talk? And I said, okay. And I said, the gist of my talk is, billionaires don't want us to have anything nice. And then I laughed at my joke, and I thought about it, and I thought, it's not really that. It's that billionaires don't care if we have what we need. Now, I've worked my entire career in government, in nonprofits, in and around Medicare programs. So I know a little something about these things. They're much more complicated than they would want you to believe. The people that are cheering on these guys who want to cut Medicaid, I have to wonder if they even know what they're talking about. I have to wonder if they even understand who it impacts, what all is involved, because the billionaires sure don't. I can guarantee you that they have never needed services to help them live independently in the community. I can guarantee you they never worried about, is my mom going to be okay, and can we afford a nursing home? I am sure any drug they ever needed or wanted, they were able to pay for without needing medical insurance. So I'm pretty sure there's an ignorance along with some other things that are fueling this whole push to cut Medicaid. If you think about it, Medicaid is really our social contract. It's our social pact. Mahatma Gandhi said the measure, a true measure of any society, is found in how it treats its most vulnerable citizens. I believe this to be very, very true. So if you want to think about Medicaid as our social pact, that's accurate. And that's a good way of looking at it. Now, what you're going to hear from the billionaires in the White House is all about fraud, waste, and abuse, right? That is an excuse. I am here to tell you, Medicaid is one of the most highly regulated, audited programs you could possibly find in this country. It is not an easy thing to do or to somehow cheat off of. So I want to make sure we're clear. Fraud, waste, and abuse is an excuse. It is not reality. So who does Medicaid help? Well, in Pennsylvania, that's 3 million Pennsylvanians. In Erie County alone, it's over 77,000 people. Think of this crowd and then multiply. It's huge. In 2022, Pennsylvania spent $44 billion in the Medicaid program. And what I think is the billionaires see that, and they see that in all 50 states, and they get dollar signs in their eyes. But I don't think they see us, and I don't think they see what's happening for that money. So for instance, this is what I see. I see 23% of Pennsylvanians using Medicaid. That's almost 1 in 4 of us. I see 40% of the adults who are enrolled in the Medicaid program have a full-time job. And what that means is either their wages are right at subsistence level, they're kind of skirting the poverty line, even though they work full-time. And I thought the billionaires wanted us to work, right? That's what we're supposed to be doing. Or it means that those people have a chronic health condition, a serious health condition, or a disability, and they need that support, even though they're working full time. These people, not billionaires, right?
Right.
39% of kids in Pennsylvania receive Medicaid services, and in fact, 34% of births require medical assistance to cover the expensive hospital costs. This is touching most of us in our lives, and that's why I have to wonder when people support these cuts just kind of blindly, do they really know that they're actually hurting themselves? And they're probably hurting their neighbor, and they're hurting their family members. 13% of seniors require support for their health care for Medicaid, and 59% of all people in nursing homes in Pennsylvania are paid for by medical assistants. Where are they going to go? What are they going to do to be independent in their homes? So this is a real issue. It touches many more people than I'm even pointing out here. Medicaid pays for hospitals, medical insurance, women's health care, children's health care, medications, mental health counseling and supportive services, substance abuse and addictions care, services for people with disabilities, services for people with intellectual disabilities, nursing home care, in-home care. These are all things that citizens require to have a healthy life, a good life, and to pursue happiness. So what about the people and the places that provide this care? Because this is the part we hardly ever talk about. It makes me crazy. Medicaid-funded services are for people, but they're provided by people. And when you cut their jobs, you raise the unemployment rate. So in a town like Erie, which has a very rich social service structure, this will have a huge impact on our economy and on unemployment rates. It is a very, very big deal. In Erie County, that's thousands of people working in hospitals, working at stairways and heart review services and Safe Harbor behavioral health. And none of those people are billionaires, by the way. So with what they are proposing, we're looking to see healthcare cut, services cut, unemployment going up. And remember, right now, 14.5% of Erie County citizens, just Erie County, live below the poverty line. We have one of the poorest zip codes in the state, if not the country. Cutting these services in a town which really has a strong healthcare and social service industry is going to tank this town. So we really need to resist this. Medicaid helps real people with real problems. Medicaid is our social contract. And if you were going to cut any of these programs, you'd need a scalpel, not a chainsaw. So that's why I'm here today to urge us to tell these billionaires in the White House, hands off Medicaid. Hands off Medicaid. Hands off Medicaid. Hands off Medicaid. Thank you very much. Slava Ukraini.